okay, we're not getting a COVID puppy. Then I'm like, that dog's sleeping in the crate. Anyway, then it's like the dog sleeps on the dog bed. That dog's not sleeping on the bed. Never. So guess where the dog sleeps?
Oh, the slippery slope, Anna Maria. I'm Jen Moroz, and this is Furball Confidential. Most of us communicate at least a little differently at work than we do at home. Here's how today's guest sounds at the office.
You know, there's an international criminal court that's just getting its start. What if the countries that have expressed their displeasure at this war and want to curb so-called U.S. aggression try the current Bush administration for war crimes?
That is award-winning journalist Anna Maria Tremonti on CBC's The Current in 2003. She was interviewing former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, who, notably, walked out on the interview after answering that question.
And on this basis, we'll end the interview.
Well, can I talk to you, sir? Hello?
Anna Maria hosted The Current for 17 years and turned it into Canada's most listened to radio program. She's also covered politics in D.C. and Ottawa and worked as a foreign correspondent in Berlin, London, and Jerusalem.
Anna Maria Tremonti, CBC News, Moscow, Vigo, Spain, Belgrade, Sarajevo, Berlin, Belfast, Paris, Tehran, Toronto.
Anna Maria is a true journalist, and I know this because for a few of those years she was hosting The Current, I was running the show. So I got to see more than most. And what most see and hear is that Anna Maria is kick-ass, fearless, no nonsense. But there's another side to Anna Maria, and it sounds a little like this.
Come here. You want some more? Hello, what's that little sweetie girl? Hey, my little puppy girl. Hi, my little puppy girl. What's that little puppy girl? Hi. Hello.
That's Anna Maria talking to her golden retriever, Zuzu, sounding like a different person than the one you heard just moments ago talking to Henry Kissinger. When we started our conversation, I played those two clips for Anna Maria back to back, and I asked her what it was like to listen to the version of herself she is when she's with Zuzu.
She's my puppy. So, I've always had a soft spot for a puppy. Of course, she's 4 years old now, too. But anyway, I haven't had a dog since my 20s. So, I wasn't actually doing puppy talk before. And I kind of do baby type, I repeat everything.
Yeah.
But she's just so cute. She really is the sweetest thing. And you just want to say nice little things to her until she runs around and picks your pocket and stuff like that,
What is the devilish side of her?
She picks pockets.
What do you mean?
Literally, if you put a Kleenex in your pocket, she will find a way to snuffle her little nose in there and get it out.
Oh,
and so,
goodness.
I have a dad who's almost 100 years old. He lives in a laneway house, behind us, as part of our property. And he's always got paper towels or something in his pocket, and she's always over there, and she sidles up to him and she yanks it out and goes, and I don't know what she's doing with it. She chews it. She's looking for me to trade a kibble. Just give that back, So this dog plays me. She plays me.
Well, I think all of them do. Clutch plays me all the time too. You and I have talked about this before. I think we're starting to get a sense of what Zuzu brings out in you, but is there anything, in terms of how you are as a person that when you got Zuzu, you were surprised by the effect that she had on you?
I think the thing that I love about this dog, and really from day one when we got her, was that she just makes us laugh. She brings out so much joy. Yeah. So whether I'm just playing with her or she's doing something crazy, or whether there's, there are a couple of us there or whatever, it's, she's just so much fun. And I love that. I love that, we got her during COVID after I insisted we are not getting a COVID puppy. And then we went scrambling to find a COVID puppy. But just that joy, she's just a lot of fun, and she's just a sweet dog. And Goldens are really sweet. They don't ever bare their teeth unless someone's coming after them. Yeah. But they're very friendly. They're almost too friendly. They say a Golden will, basically will let a burglar in the house, show them where to find everything, and then, wag their tail with them out the door.
You had said no to a pandemic puppy. What sealed the deal for you? Whose idea was it to get
My
Zuzu?
stepdaughter sealed the deal.
Okay.
Rachel sent me, I kid you not, just like bombarded me with Instagrams of puppies, of golden retriever puppies. And like puppy in a dress. When we first got the dog, I said, okay, which one of us is going to put her in a dress first, right? And Rachel or Anna Maria. But anyway, neither one of us did. We didn't dress her up, but except for Halloween.
Of course, Halloween.
So I gave in. Now Rachel wants us to get another one to keep Zuzu company. And I'm like, I'm out. No way. No, wow. No, it's not going to happen. To be continued, Jen.
Well, because you also got Zuzu as a puppy and went through that whole puppy phase.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I really did take it very seriously at the beginning. So I actually slept next to the dog in her crate for weeks, and I took her out every couple of hours. I made sure she was house trained. And she is really well house trained. She doesn't do everything she's supposed to do. Like her recall ended when she was a year old. She was really good at recall, and then she discovered squirrels. And there is no such thing as recall. No. And she's taken off after deer. She's taken off after squirrels. So she's like a rocket. She's only 60 pounds, but she's
fast.
But anyway, house trained her early and just spent a lot of time with her early, because I could, right? Both of us were home because of COVID.
Right.
We were not. And so it was an opportunity to do that. I've wanted a dog for several years, but I didn't have a schedule where I thought it was really fair just to leave the dog in all day. So,
yeah.
And, a lot of people do, and they have ways around it. So, but I hadn't figured it out. But,
and it is. It's a lot, especially when you're getting a puppy. It's a lot of time. I think people underestimate how much work it is to get through that phase, right?
I did. Yeah. I did.
Tell me about the name Zuzu. Who came up with that?
So John and Rachel both wanted Zuzu. So in the movie It's a Wonderful Life,
yeah,
Jimmy Stewart's daughter is named Zuzu. And at the end of that movie, when he realizes he hasn't died and he's in the real world, he puts his hand in his pocket and he finds these petals that his daughter Zuzu gave him, Zuzu's petals.
Zuzu's petals! Zuzu! There they are! Bert! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas! Well, Merry Christmas.
John's daughter was younger. John has two kids. When the kids were younger, they had this little silly band that they did in the house, and they called it Zuzu's Petals. So that's where the name came from the movie. And so they wanted to call this dog Zuzu. And I'm like, seriously? And, it was in the middle of COVID, and I thought it would be fun to call Zuzu Droxy, as in hydroxychloroquine, because I thought that would be hilarious.
You're such a journalist.
Hydroxychloroquine, I got kibble for you. And anyway, they said they argued that name would not age well, and they were right.
So you're glad you were wrong?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's hilarious. What are some of the things, or what's the thing that she does that just melts your heart?
Oh, lots of things, because I'm a total sucker for this dog. So, she'll do things like she wants to get your attention. She'll grab a shoe, or maybe the person visiting you's shoe, and she will literally trot with it to the back door and try to get out, because she can open the back door and sometimes she can unlock it. We don't know how that happens, but she can. I don't think we lock it well enough on those days. But anyway, and then she'll take it outside and play with it, or she'll just show it to you so that you will come and pay attention to her and give her something in return. But sometimes she stops at the door and she wants to go out, and she puts it down and she tries. So I'll drop a kibble to make her put it down. And you can see her trying to figure out, okay, how do I get that kibble and get the shoe again? And she does. So that's just kind of funny, right?
Oh, that's so cute.
And, she sleeps on the bed. And, I've said, we're not getting a COVID puppy. Then I'm like, that dog's sleeping in the crate. And then it was that dog sleeping. Okay. Then she broke out of the crate gotta say. And did I mention she should be called Houdini? Anyway, it's like the dog sleeps on the dog bed. That dog's not sleeping on the bed. Never. So guess where the dog sleeps? And I was like,
the slippery slope, Anna
and the other
Maria.
one was, just so you know, we're not buying Christmas presents for a dog. Just so you know, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Guess what we do?
Me too. I get Clutch a Christmas present. But according to various surveys, a big majority, like we're talking up to 95% of pet owners, also get their fur babies a gift for the holidays. So there, we're not alone. You've mentioned your dad lives in the Laneway house. Of course, there's John in the household. Rachel.
My stepdaughter has a basement apartment. Yeah, we've got a multi-generational family, and everyone loves Zuzu.
So yeah, and so how has Zuzu affected the family dynamic?
Oh, well, I mean, I go see my dad every morning and Zuzu wants in and she can't come in till the stair chairs come down because I don't want to get her run over.
Right.
But Zuzu greets my dad. Sometimes she runs upstairs where he's not, he's just sitting in a chair. He's not ready to come downstairs yet. And she will jump on the bed. She jumps around. She gets all excited because she's not usually up there. And he just howls. He thinks it's so funny. And then, Rachel will come up and see Zuzu in the morning and, Rachel will play with Zuzu or take her for a walk or do something. Or the dog will go down to her apartment. So, everybody loves Zuzu, literally everybody in the,
It occurs to me, like going back to your story of how Zuzu was named with the petals in the pocket. Have you ever put it two and two together that she's steals from pockets and she's named after...
No, I never did, actually.
The Zuzu's petals? I think that's kind of an interesting little parallel for her.
Yeah, Zuzu's tissues.
Yeah. They really do choose the most disgusting things to eat or roll in. Clutch's thing is rolling in decaying dead animals in the woods. Fun times. Let us know your fur baby's most disgusting habit if you want at Furball Confidential. Pictures are strongly encouraged. You were mentioning before that Zuzu is crazy for squirrels, which Clutch also is crazy for squirrels, or Clutch has chased a deer and given me a heart attack before, literally disappeared, and that's why I got a tracking device for her. I'm curious,
Same.
Is that your, what's been your scariest moment as a dog mom?
When she took off, when the dog mom said, everybody, we're on vacation, everybody make sure Zuzu's on the leash before you open that door because there's deer in the woods right there. Oh. And then, so who opens the door with that? And I'll never forget it because I see the deer. It's like full-grown white-tailed deer, and it's looking at me. And I look down, and Zuzu's looking at it, and I go, uh-oh. Oh, my God, the leash isn't on. And I go to get the leash, and Zuzu's gone.
Oh, no.
She disappears into the woods, and there was a highway on the other side of the woods. And we're calling, and I'm hysterical, and John, get out here. And anyway, so of course we're calling, nothing happens. And John says, give me some peanut butter. And he puts some peanut butter on a spoon, and we just wait until she comes running back. And she almost passes the peanut butter and then goes, oh, I could use some of that. And he grabs her. And we get her back inside. But she was gone about half an hour.
Was your heart just pounding outside of your chest for that half hour?
I was really worried about her. And we had an eye tag on her, but it's the woods. Eye tags bounce off other people's phones, right?
Yeah.
And so there was no phone in there. And anyway, so, then she came in and she just flopped and slept for 2 hours because she was so exhausted. But then we got her a GPS that you can follow. And so now I get all sorts of notices. Zuzu is 0.2 kilometers from home. Well, yes, because she's on my leash.
You released Welcome to Paradise a few years ago. And for those who have not listened to this podcast, get out there and listen to it.
We can all hide things. And when I'm in broadcast mode, this voice of mine has hidden my greatest secret.
It's about Anna Maria's experience in her first marriage, surviving domestic violence. And so I know you've done a lot of talking your way through the healing process from that, through this podcast, through talks that you continue to give, I know it's been through therapy, it's been a big healing process for you. And I'm curious how Zuzu has fit into that whole healing process, if at all.
A good question. I think really she's fit in because she's just this little bundle of joy, right? And so you can put your energy there and she will pull you out of a mood just because she'll do something crazy. And it can be just a small thing, but it just, makes you laugh. So yeah, I think I think having any kind of a pet around will do that. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're low maintenance. They're not like children. And I never had kids. I have grandkids now. So,
right.
But I still marvel at people who are pushing a buggy and walking a dog. I'm going, okay, you are a super person. I don't know how you juggle
I agree.
a dog and a child, a little one. For sure. I mean, she's just she's an equalizing force,
right?
Because she's, you must feel this way with Clutch. They're a lot of fun, and even when they're not, but even when they're a lot of work or they're a lot of responsibility, they're just these wonderful things, and they rely on you. They're
yeah.
They can bark and they can do this and that, but they need you, and you have to step up for them.
And I'm like, for me with Clutch, it almost brought out, I don't even know if this is the right word, but I'm going to say it, like a maternal instinct in me that I don't have kids. Did you experience that at all with? Oh,
yeah, like I'm telling Zuzu all the time to listen to her mommy. So yes.
So the answer is
yes. For sure, yeah, absolutely, and it's maternal. It's protective. It's all those things, right? It's sweet, and yeah, it's true that, when I was working very long hours and very long days and weeks at the Current, I didn't feel I would have time for a dog. And then I suddenly did. But the balance that, dogs take a fair bit of your time, but they also bring that balance.
Yeah.
So it's nice, it's
and get you at the door.
What's interesting about Zuzu? I have all during the fall. My dad, as I mentioned, is like, he's 99, almost 100, and he would go for walks with me every day with his cane.
Yeah.
And Zuzu would go with us, and she would slow right down. She would barely pull. If she saw a squirrel, she might charge, but I could usually, but like she would pace herself with him. And then if he needed to, like if it was too far, he'd sit down, so the neighbors have like like a built up with bricks or something to, a flower bed or something. And he'd sit on the edge of that. And the dog would sit with him and he'd give her a treat. And so she had a whole different routine with him. So now he uses a walker and it's, winter, but we'll see by spring, I think they can go out together again. And she just changes with him, which is really nice.
That's so lovely. And I know you'd mentioned that you had a dog growing up, which meant Tulio had a dog. How would you say his relationship is with Zuzu compared to that dog that you had growing up?
Oh, the dog we had growing up, I mean, it was different times. Snoopy had a doghouse in the back, right? Like, she didn't sleep in the house. We took her for walks, but we mostly played with her, but it was I don't think we ever she never went she didn't wander off if she was off leash. She just kind of hung out with us.
Right.
And then he and my mom had a dog. Later, they had a Norwegian elk hound, which they loved. That was a rescue dog from a friend who worked with a vet and, who brought it over from the States, actually, just put it in the car. And I don't know if you can do that anymore, but
I don't think so.
They loved that dog. And then my mom said they were never going to get another dog because it was too hard to lose a dog.
Oh,
so
you kind of have some dog in your bones.
I have dog and I have had many cats, cats.
Oh,
it's funny.
I didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah, when I was little, I had a cat that I've had rabbits, that gave birth to more rabbits. I had a cat that had 11 kittens with 2 litters. I had pigeons. And somebody in the neighborhood said, why don't you see if they're homing pigeons and let them out? So I did, and they weren't.
And they, that's a hard lesson learned the hard way. Yeah.
Where'd the pigeons go? And then what I had a roommate with a Cocker Spaniel later, and then that Cocker Spaniel became 3 Cocker Spaniels, but they weren't really my responsibility. They were just around, and they were awfully cute.
Right. That's the best.
I've had an Irish setter, so I've had pets.
Both with Welcome to Paradise and, let's say, like, even just this conversation that we're having now, like, you're known to be a pretty private person. And I'm just curious, like, with Welcome to Paradise, with this, is there something different now in your life where you feel like, I want to open up more about who I am and the version of myself that other people have not seen before?
Yes and no. I think that with Welcome to Paradise, it was a story I wanted to tell. I think that, I don't feel as reticent about opening up about myself. I did feel when I was doing a daily program that it wasn't supposed to be about me.
Right.
And I mean, you've been my exec. Like, you got to open up a little bit, and you got to do that kind of stuff. It's still hard for me sometimes on social media to share. I don't like trolls. But yes, I'm old enough to have, been, started my career when people who really were mad at you couldn't get to you, and now anybody can get to you. So some of that, and then I'm just not quick enough sometimes to put stuff up there. But I find conversations with neighbors or just random people when you have a dog are quite illuminating, right? Because it's that little connector. And so when you get to a dog park, you start talking to people about all sorts of things. You start with the dogs and then you move on and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think with Welcome to Paradise, a big wall came down.
Yeah.
And, the world didn't end when the big wall came down. And in fact, a lot of people wanted to hear what I had to say about that. Although I don't think if I had said it sooner, if I had done that kind of thing early in my career, I think I really would have been pigeonholed, because I think that was society at the time.
Right.
But I also think that sometimes our fear of stigma kind of makes us bow to the stigma instead of fighting it, right?
Right.
And so, like you, I've spent a career encouraging other people to talk about things that might be stigmatized, but we're trying to break those barriers. So it only made sense that I should pull down that wall.
Yeah. And yeah, boy, did you ever, and what an impact it had on a lot of other women too, telling that story.
But where the wall was, like I gave you that tape of me talking to Zuzu, and I listened to it and I thought, oh God, but I'll fess up now to you. I mean, I remember seeing this thing on TikTok or something of how men talk to dogs, this very gendered, and how women and the men are like, hey boy, hey buddy, come here, buddy. And the women are all like, goochie, goochie, goo. And that's me, right? I'm like, I have a whole little language for Zuzu. I'm like, I do that to her all the time. And, like, I say all sorts of crazy little things to her, which make no sense, but she's wagging her tail.
But also, don't you find when you're actually saying those things, because also guilty on this end, but that there's some, like, as you're saying it in those voices, there's something like I don't know, it releases something from you. It makes you feel better, like talking in a voice. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
It's funny because I don't talk to my granddaughters like that. I don't do like babble talk to them ever. Like,
yeah, I know, it's so bizarre. I'm going to end this conversation on a saying that you have that always sticks with me, which is, in conversation, in a good conversation, you're listening to listen and not listening to talk. And you've always been such a wonderful, active listener. And I think that's a big part of what's made you such a great journalist. But I'm curious, with Zuzu, it's a different thing than a human. What is listening to Zuzu like compared to humans?
Zuzu speaks. We just don't understand bark. So
Right.
I've tried to figure her out a little bit. So if she's upstairs in the bedroom in the middle of the night and gets off the bed and wakes me up and starts banging, we have French doors, banging the doors to try to get out. She's not doing that for nothing. She needs to go out.
Right.
So, and sometimes if she's barking, and there's people over her stuff, but she keeps barking, there's always a reason. So you do have to listen to her. You got to watch her little doggy body language. It might be that she really has to go outside to, relieve herself, or it might be that she's going to get something and show you. But, for a while she was barking at the bright lights, or if you have, how a watch or something or tinfoil will glint on a ceiling if the lights are on, and she's freaked out by that. So she starts barking at it. For a while, I thought she saw dead people, but it was really different. But so there's always a reason. She doesn't bark just to bark. She barks for a reason.
Isn't that amazing? And isn't it amazing when you figure them out and learn what it is they're trying to say to you with a dog that can't speak your language?
Yeah, they're really trying, right? But
it must be so frustrating on their part. And come on, human, get with
the program. What do I have to do? Drop more fur in front of you? What do you want?
Yeah. One last question. What have you learned from Zuzu, would you say?
I think I've learned a little bit more patience, because she's a dog. It's not her fault. It's, if she's barking or she needs something, you got to do it for her. So I've learned to make space for my dog.
Yeah.
But by doing that, you make space for other things too. I'm somebody who has spent decades working to deadline, and rightly or wrongly have been able to put blinders on through many days if I had to power through for that. And you can't do that with any pet. Unless you've got a gecko, I guess. But even a gecko has to eat. But
gecko has to eat.
Even the gecko has to eat. But I think just that that you can make space for that. And of course, when you make space for other things, then maybe your brain works better anyway, and you get that deadline done.
Yeah.
I've also learned that a dog bark is not a good thing during a podcast. So I would,
Listen, during this podcast, it's all okay.
Yeah. But I think mostly just to make space for other things. And it sounds a bit trite because other people know that always, but so busted, that's another thing you can learn about me. I haven't always had to make that kind of space.
Right. I relate to that.
Yeah.
Anna Maria, thank you so much for taking the time for this and talking to us about Zuzu. It's just so lovely, and I have a feeling a lot of people will leave this conversation with another view of Anna Maria Tremonti, and I think that's wonderful.
Yes, well, maybe one day I'll write a memoir called Kibble in My Pocket.
Oh, I love it. I will be your first reader. And I've got to just say to you, thank you, because folks don't know this, but on my 40th birthday, Anna Maria gave me this lovely silver paperweight that said, "What would you attempt to do if you knew that you could not fail?" And the answer to that, Anna Maria, is host a podcast. So thank you for this.
Aw, Jen, you're wonderful.
Back at you. That was such a fun conversation. Thanks again to Anna Maria for sharing her love with Zuzu with all of us. You can check out Welcome to Paradise, Anna Maria's poignant memoir of surviving intimate partner violence, on your favorite podcast app. You can also check out her other podcast, More with Anna Maria Tremonti, produced by yours truly. And you can follow Anna Maria and what she's up to on her website at annamariatremonti.com or on Instagram at amtremonti. And that, as they say, is a wrap, not just on this episode, but for this season of Furball Confidential. I know, it went by way too quickly. A big thank you to the folks who encouraged me to do this project and cheered me on from the sidelines. You know who you are. And a huge thank you to the incredibly talented and kind pet-loving team that made this podcast possible. It truly takes a village, and I love this crew so, so much. Talia, you were so much more than a producer on this project. You've been a true partner, and I'm so grateful. And Rez, Danny, Marina, and Adrian, I would not have been able to pull this off without all your help. And finally, thanks to all of you who have come and joined us for this incredible and incredibly fun ride. If you know someone who would get something out of the podcast, send it along to them and help to keep spreading the Furball love. Until we meet again. Furball Confidential is created and hosted by me, Jen Moroz. Our show producer is Talia Schlanger. She also co-created our theme music with David Travers Smith with Brian Kobayakawa on bass. Reza Daya does our sound and video design and editing. Danny Stover does our social media. Our show artwork is by Adrian Foro. And Marina Hanna does our audience development. And thanks, as always, to the Furball who started it all, Clutch. I'm Jen Moroz. See you next time on Furball Confidential.